Please activate the subtitles. In order to activate the subtitles, you just have to click on the three little dots on the screen of your mobile, or on the gear if you are on a computer. Before we start the video, I'd like to ask you to please leave a comment and hit the like button, because when you leave a comment and when you hit the like button, YouTube understands that my video is interesting, so it starts showing my video to new people, and therefore you help me grow the channel. So before we start the video, hit the like button and leave a comment. My name is Roger Color, and this video is going to be very quick and different because today is the first episode of a series of videos named... Well, this series doesn't have a name yet, but it's gonna be a series in which I'm gonna talk about something that I have just watched. Yeah, but it's not something new. It's something that I have just watched. It might be new or it might be old. Well, it depends on what I watch. But don't worry, I normally watch new things. And I'm gonna do that because I like talking about things that I've just watched. It could be an anime, could be a movie, a series, an animation, a cartoon, whatever. It could be a video from Xvideos. Just kidding. So without any further ado, let's get started. Today I'm gonna talk to you about a series that I have just watched, and it's named Final Space. But first of all, I'm gonna tell you how I came across this series. There was a beautiful evening last week in which I was working a lot, I had many classes, had many online classes, so yes, I'm teaching online. If you want to be my student, just get in touch with me and we can talk about prices and availability. So I was having many classes that day, and I had like 8 classes on Skype. But then, one of my students cancelled his class. He called it off because he couldn't make it. He called me and said, "Oh, I can't have a class today." And I said, "Okay." So I had 1 hour to do nothing before my next class. So I told myself, maybe I should watch something on Netflix. And that's what I did. I went to Netflix and I started browsing for something. And sometimes it's hard to find exactly what you want to watch because you don't even know what you want to watch. That was my situation. I didn't know what I wanted to watch, but it had to be something quick. It couldn't be a movie. It had to be something really quick. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna watch an animation. So I searched for animations, and then I came across this image, Final Space. And then I thought, it looks like Family Guy and American Dad. And I like these cartoons, I like Family Guy, I like American Dad, and I like that kind of humor. You don't really have to pay a lot of attention to these things, and that's what I needed that day, that evening actually. Then I watched the first episode, and I was right, the kind of humor is similar to American Dad and Family Guy, but not really, it's not so crazy, Those cartoons, American Dad and Family Guy, they're a little bit crazy, they go over the top. This particular cartoon doesn't really go over the top, so it was okay, but it was just a random episode. It wasn't something really that caught my eye, and I watched the second episode. It was a little bit better. I was kind of intrigued and I wanted to watch the third episode, but then I had another class. And then, coincidentally, my student called me and put it off. He said, "Oh, can we have this class tomorrow morning instead of now, because I've got some problems and stuff." And I said, "Okay, let's have this class tomorrow in the morning." Then I thought, I'm gonna watch the third episode then. Turns out I watched the whole first season that night. And it happened because the series is really catchy. You really want to know what happens next. And due to the fact that the episodes are really quick, you don't get tired of watching one episode after the other. But the first 5 episodes are just okay, just like a random cartoon. But then something happens in the 6th episode. Something drastic happens in the 6th episode. Why are my eyes closed? Why am I holding my ears? And this thing that happens makes you think, this is not for children. If you're very sensitive, you will cry in the end of the 6th episode because something drastic happens, a plot twist. And then you want to watch the rest of the series. There's no way out of that. You're caught. You need to watch until the end of it. As I said, if you're very sensitive, you're going to cry in the end of the 6th episode. I didn't cry because I've never cried in my life. Even when I lost my best friend Joshua. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that in the end of that 6th episode, I didn't cry, but I might have shed one tear, you know? I might have felt one tear streaming down my face. Now I'm gonna tell you some drawbacks of the series. One negative thing that I think about the series is that some jokes are a little bit repetitive, so after the 7th time with the same joke you kind of think, you could have tried something better, something different, you know. Yes, the jokes are a little bit repetitive, but because the episodes are really quick, you know, it doesn't really jeopardize the whole plot or the whole series. It doesn't jeopardize the series. It's okay, you know. It reminds me of my Uncle Joe with his stupid jokes. I remember my Uncle Joe with his stupid jokes.
Roger, my nephew.
Yes, uncle.
Do you know the longest word in the English language?
What is the longest word in the English language?
Smiles.
Why? It's not... But smiles, but it's not a long word.
Yeah, but there's a mile between the two S's. There's a mile between the two S's.
It's funny, it's very funny.
Do you know Dracula's favorite fruit? What is Dracula's favorite fruit?
Dracula's favorite fruit? I don't know.
Nectarine. Nectarine. Because vampires suck blood from necks. Nectarine.
It's funny, Uncle Joe, but I've got to go now because I have to study for a test.
A test? Oh, you are a boy.
Yes, I am a boy. Why?
So that's why you've got to study for a test. Because you got a lot of testosterone. Testosterone. the hormone.
Help!
So I truly recommend that you watch Final Space. You know, when I watch a series like that, what makes me think that the season was good is when I get to the final episode and I want to watch the 2nd season. And this is the feeling I have here in my heart right now. I really want to watch the 2nd season. It hasn't been released yet, but what I can tell you is that the 1st season of Final Space is truly good. Am I exaggerating? Am I overestimating it? It's highly likely. It happens because I'm a very passionate guy, so when I like something, it's not that I like something, it's that I love that thing and I will defend it until the end of days. Leave a comment answering my question, which is, tell me what you have just watched. Like, I've just watched Final Space. Tell me what you have just watched. And tell me a little bit of the story. Okay, I'm gonna reply to a comment between today and tomorrow. Thank you very much for everything and I'll see you next class.
Please click the big red button to subscribe. It really helps me when you do that. And click the bell to allow notifications so you will never miss new videos. Thank you very much.